Have you ever wondered what it would be like to receive support while on your journey to eating healthier? My name is Amy. I am a food educator and hidden consumer expert, and today I'm going to tell you all about my Black Friday through Cyber Monday deals that will do just that for you. Give you your support that most people don't realize most people need. So here we go. Let's get started. All right. So in this video, feel free to share, like, comment, all that great stuff. It always helps small businesses like myself. But let's just jump in. So I'm going to share a screen here so you can see my Black Fridays. Now, if you go to my book website, thehiddenconsumer.com/home, in the store, you will find a link to the Black Friday deals. There is going to be some marketing out. I'm trying to find all the marketing. I had the date wrong. So just know that the coaching sessions in the larger bundle for the deal is through the end of 2026. So here we go. What am I offering? So one of the things that I do as a food educator is I help people understand how ingredients are made, but I also help you understand how that impacts your health. So every time I work with people, it's always about how is the food impacting you? What does your body feel like? And a lot of people don't understand what that fully entails. So my Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals are all about getting you started on the right foot to truly understanding how food is impacting your day-to-day life. In my case, I know food creates and causes my migraines. I know it causes inflammation. There's a lot of things I know, so I have to be really careful with what I consume. And because of that knowledge, I pass that on to others so we can help determine do you have something similar? Most people are not at my sensitivity level, but it doesn't mean you're not experiencing other issues that could actually indicate you have a food allergy or food sensitivity. So because of that knowledge, what I have is two options. Option one is the full package, and this is with coaching. So the deal is right now, typically, if you were to buy these three individually, you're looking at a $357 price point, but I'm offering it at $175. What you're getting is a signed copy of my book, The Hidden Consumer. If you want a special message written into it, I will do that. There's a space on the form to fill that in. You are also getting what I think is a really key is you're getting 3 coaching sessions. So we're going to be able to talk through. I want you to share with me the food you do eat. No judgment here. We buy what we have to based on what we know and what our price points are. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to make sure people understand if there's something they could do better that might work into their budget. I want to give you that education so you can make the best decisions for you. And it's not a guessing game or you feel like you're being tricked by the marketing teams in the food industry. So those are why those coaching sessions are really, and I call them coaching, but they're really education sessions. I'm not judging, I'm just sharing knowledge and helping you devise different ways of eating that still work within your budget if that's what you want, or we just talk about ingredients like it works. But the other really key point to this is the starter kit. One of the things I launched over the last 6 weeks here is I created a variety of documents that help people get started to understanding food, how to track food in your body. And so you're going to get all of these fun things in one bundle. So the hidden consumer starter kit includes a food journal. And this is a very specific journal based around how I had to track to find out my sensitivities and allergies, things that typically aren't tracked in other journals. But the really good key point here is that it's not just about tracking. At the end of every week and a recap at the end of the month is we look at your overall impressions of the month. And we go back and we look at each week. So there are specific questions to help guide you, to help you reframe how you're looking at food. And to me, that's more important than just tracking the information. You can buy a food tracking journal anywhere. It won't always do the same stuff that I'm going to show you how to do, but the pivotal part is always going to be those questions. How does it get you to change thinking and to understand and connect food to your actual health. That's why I make sure even when people work with me in coaching sessions, we use this and we bring this and to the sessions. We'll talk through this together. Again, pivotal part of the work I do is the food tracking journal and those questions. For fun, I put together a cookbook sampler, unlike other recipes and other cookbooks, I spend more time talking about what brands I use to help people understand the connection between health and the brands you're using as well. So I don't just use sugar because a regular table sugar is like 5 to 10% cornstarch. I'm allergic to corn, so I can't use that. So I use CNH brand sugar, and I talk about that. In my sourdough recipe, I talk about why um, natural or wild yeast is so important to my lifestyle versus commercialized yeast. Commercialized yeast is lab grown yeast on corn. I'm going to be allergic to that, so I can't have commercialized yeast. And I talk about what's the difference between the two, and we go through that. I also have tips for food storage. One of my biggest issues getting started on this journey over a decade ago was my root vegetables and fruits and other veggies didn't hold up as long. So I started reading old cookbooks. I started looking for references. I started, perusing the online areas, and I found a variety of tips that I have root vegetables that can last me up to 4 weeks in the refrigerator. So all those little tips and tricks and little details on how to, when it's the heat of the Southern California and I'm basically desert here. How do I keep my fresh fruit and vegetables safe, even though I've got at least a 30-minute drive home from where the farmer's market is? So there's little tips and tricks throughout that. These are not major documents. It's not going to be like pages and pages of reading, but I really want to I like to keep things as concise as possible to help people who are going through through this process. And then the other one is customer service red flags. The reality is you can't trust customer service departments to understand what your sensitivities are. And I walk through how to approach customer service teams and what red flags mean you just really need to run away. Like if a customer service team member says, "Hey, you know what? I think your doctor is wrong. You need a second opinion." That's a red flag that they aren't going to take your health concerns seriously, and you're going to want to avoid their products, right? Little things like that. So that's all that you get for that $175. You're $175. You're getting a signed copy of my book with 2 to 3 day shipping on that as well. Anything that's bought between Black Friday and Cyber Monday will be shipped out on Tuesday. You should have it by the end of next week if you order it by Monday night. You'll get my coaching sessions. Those alone are almost a $300 value. And then you also get the Hidden Consumer Starter Kit. So that's what's in the first deal. However, the second deal is, let's say you just really want to do this on your own and you want nothing to do with me. That's okay too. So I removed the coaching, and then your value is $60 and it's a $45 price point. So in this case, you're still getting the signed copy of the book, and you're also getting the Hidden Consumer Starter Kit. All that good stuff. So let me dot my share. There we go. All right, so that's what we're getting for my Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals. What I really want people to learn is that connection between your health and the food we're eating. Ultra processed foods, I know most people don't understand what that is, and it really is just lab created ingredients that have no nutritional value, but they're loaded with empty calories. So this is food you can eat all day and never get full. You're always hungry. That's why you need to eat maybe 3 or 4 bags of chips at a time, because there's nothing in it. It's just not filling you up. So what I do is I walk you through all that. What are some alternatives? How can we make time techniques on time are also really important. As someone with chronic pain and multiple chronic issues, how I cook had to really vary as well. Not only do I have to spend time cooking every meal, but I also have to think about how does that impact my body. So I have different time-saving techniques that work for moms. moms and dads who are trying to feed their kids, but they've got football practice, gymnastics, maybe it's marching band or something else, right? What's happening in this world? You've got so much going on. So a lot of those things are all going to be in that hidden consumer starter kit. So my goal is to educate people so that when you go grocery shopping, you can buy what you need, but also with the knowledge of what it is you're putting on your table, not just assuming or hoping it's as healthy or clean as marketing teams want you to know. So with that, thank you so much for being here, watching my videos. I so appreciate all the support I am getting. Feel free to share this video with anyone. But in the meantime, if this sounds like something that would be perfect for you, now is the time. Because I am just launching this company, really focused on consumers, and I launched it this past Monday. That means these deals are not going to be coming back. By next year, price points will completely change. So if this is an opportunity you're looking at, I recommend buying between now and the end of Cyber Monday. There are only 15 copies of my book left. So between the two programs, I can only sell 15 total. So please be aware of that as well. Okay, with that, have a great one. Have a great day. The link for the Cyber Monday deal, let me put it into the chat right now so you can go for it and get online. And I did not prep this out in advance like I typically do. And let's show that. There you go. Go to thehiddenconsumer.com/home. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is the site for all these great deals. So I hope to work with you soon. You'll get a scheduling link as soon as within about 24 hours of the purchase of either of the first package, and we can get you right on the calendar. We can start working this year and help you get into the holidays with a healthier start, if that's what you're looking to do. So next time you wonder what's on your table, remember to look me up because I can help you understand what you're feeding yourself and your family.